The Denver Nuggets have moved on from their head coach, Mike Malone, leaving many Chicago Bulls fans to ask if the president, Arturas Karnisovas, can make a pivot to a former head coach that he had a place in hiring. We're going to talk about it all and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, hosted by Hayes, your number one spot for all things Chicago Bulls.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host here, Hayes, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go to get into this content today, y'all. And so the Denver Nuggets have moved on from a head coach that has had nothing but basically winning seasons in a row since he joined that organization. And the Bulls have the Nuggets have moved on from Mike Malone, and it's left a lot of Bulls fans to ask, could AK, a coach, keep in mind, AK was on the staff before Mike Malone was hired in Denver, could they make a move? And the question here is no, it's not going to happen. And, you know, I would love to be able to come in here and say this, right? I know a lot of people are asking. Mike Malone is a really good head coach, you know, and you know, he's developed. He has those type of things. But I do not think that the Bulls make a pivot right now. Billy Donovan has 1 year left on his contract, and I just can't foresee the Bulls firing and moving on from a head coach and Billy Donovan when the team is actually working. I don't think that that's going to happen, right? But the Denver Nuggets have not only moved on from the head coach, they've also moving on from their general manager and Calvin Booth as well. So that's what's going on there. I don't think this really have had any implications on what the Bulls are going to do or anything there. I get why a lot of Bulls fans are asking that question, right? I want to make no mistake about it. I understand why Bulls fans are asking, well, hey, AK was he was there when they hired this guy. Reportedly, they have a really good relationship. Could the Bulls look to move on and bring in somebody different? The question of the thing is, no, it's probably not going to happen. The Bulls are not likely to move on at this point in time when the team is actually looking good. And, you know, it just is what it is, man. I don't really believe that they would. If the season was a complete and utter disappointment, maybe. But even then, like, I think that would have been by design, right? The Bulls are really tied to Billy Donovan. Jerry Reinsdorf is really tied to Billy Donovan. And that, when it comes down to it, is I don't think that they move on from Billy Donovan at this point in time. Now, when Billy Donovan's contract is up at the end of next season, maybe. And I've said it before, I think that there's a possibility Billy Donovan moves into the front office or to a different role or something like that if he doesn't move into a completely different team. But I just don't foresee the Bulls firing Billy Donovan at this point in time. I just don't seem like it is. I think there's a lot of things going on in Denver. And, you know, I'll allow Denver Nuggets podcast to talk on Denver Nuggets business. But, you know, we've seen Jokic and Malone get into it, things like that. But this is a weird season when you look at it, man. The fact that Luka Doncic was traded, Taylor Jenkins was fired as another head coach that had an above 60% win percentage. Mike Malone's been fired now, right? Like, this has just been a very weird season when it all comes down to it, man. The difference is two business groups. It has nothing to do with the business groups. We're not even going to read that comment. It has nothing to do with the business groups. What's good, Bulls Daily? Oh, shout out to Bulls Daily. Shout out to my little brother, Bulls Daily. Bulls about to get Jokic, bro. Listen, I listen. I know you're joking, but there's somebody who really does think that. There is somebody who legitimately thinks that that's a possibility. Hope you and the fam are well. I appreciate you, brother. Two coaches I previously had interest in, Jenkins and Malone. Bulls like the continuity and they value Hall of Fame Billy. Bulls are not changing coaching until Billy fails once the team has a real aspirations. Or Billy Donovan moves on. Like I said, I do think there's a legitimate chance that Billy Donovan eventually moves into the front office. I think that's a real chance. When you look at the way that when Jerry has his guys, the way that the progression usually goes for guys like that, I do think that there's that chance that, keep in mind, next year, as far as we know right now, because we know that secret extensions are a thing here in this organization, but as we know right now, Billy Donovan has 1 year left on his contract, and I don't think that the Bulls are going to move off of him before that year's over with. This officially goes down as the random NBA season of all time, as if Dallas GM trading their generational franchise player wasn't enough. 2 franchise fired their winning coaches weeks before the play. That's the weirdest thing about all this. Not just necessarily the fact that they moved on from Mike Malone. It's the fact that they have when they did it. Like at this point, why not just let them seek out the playoffs? Why not just let them go through the playoffs, figure the hell out, and move on from there, right? But it is what it is. Should have fired AK 10 minutes after his press conference when he said he's trying to build a championship team without star players. Nuggets won a chip 2 with this coach and GM with the MVP and still did this. Well, that's not exactly what so many people have now taken what AK actually said and turned it into something completely different. That's not what he said. That's not what he go back and actually watch that. Not for how you feel about what he said, but what he actually said. This is diabolical. Yeah, listen, I mean, it is what it is, man. That's the place that this franchise is in. That's the place the NBA is in. We're in a weird place where weird shit happens. What did don't call me killer. What we talking about, man? Don't bring up my past. Everybody out here firing their coach, but the Bulls. I mean, listen, it is what it is. It's funny you got to go live just to say this. I respect it. Listen, I was live on NBA Central first, where the news made more sense, but there were so many people in that asking questions about the Bulls that I'm like, all right, y'all know one thing that I will do as well is I will debunk narratives when it comes down to the Chicago Bulls, because there are a lot of pages that are going to take this and they're going to run with it in a completely different way. So, it is what it is. Yet Billy is still head coach of the Chicago Bulls. Yep, that's a fact. The GM to damn, the Nuggets are cleaning house, got tired of losing to the Chicago Bulls. That's funny. This is what happens when you don't have a Hall of Fame coach. Is hilarious. Reminds me of when we fired Tibbs. Tibbs was even more like personal. Like Tibbs was just Paxson wanting all the glory at that point in time. Blame CHGO for taking AK's words and changing them. Also, AK doesn't know how to speak properly and allows people to misinterpret. That's a fact. That's a fact. Let's get to 150 likes. Appreciate you. I'm curious how the players felt playing for Malone. Maybe the players started to tune him out. I mean, and that is something that happens, right? Like there is a legit, I say this all the time, right? I feel like every coach has a window with the team. Now, some coaches' windows, because they're able to adapt, it can keep being extended. Greg Popovich, for example. Eric Spoelstra, I think he's going to be one of those coaches that he's going to be with the Miami Heat until he decides to go into the front office, right? But sometimes coaches run their course, and whether that is both the coach and the place where they see the team going, which I think is the thing here with the Denver Nuggets, I think that they are going to make some wholesale changes to that roster, meaning that guys that they've been very attached to, like Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray, that they could be guys that they could look to move on from. So, we'll see what happens there. Close the chat and hit the like. We appreciate you. You ain't got to close the chat to hit the like. You can still leave it open. What they say, Lil Dude. First of all, it's bad enough that you look like you can't read. I'm trying to entice you to go and actually use your brain. Go and watch the video, my boy. You ain't even got to read it. All you got to do is go watch the video. You can take you and those 4 dreads that you holding on to dear life for in your head and go use the brain cells you got left that aren't falling through the seams of your dreadlocks, and you can go over there and watch the video. Like, go and do that. Go and do that. Billy's been doing a better job through the last half of the season. Yeah, but I mean, come on. Last half of the season versus, like, wouldn't you love to have in Mike Malone, I think 8 straight years of above 5 of winning records? Wouldn't you love to have that? No, who slept with the owner's wife? That's crazy. If the Knicks tap out, I can see Mike and NY. You know who I said? I can see Mike Malone taking over from the Spurs. I definitely can see Mike Malone being the Spurs next. Now, the Spurs probably already got somebody in-house that they're going to hire because that's just how that organization rolls. But if Greg Popovich truly hangs it up, I can absolutely see him there. I can see Mike Malone going to the Memphis Grizzlies. Yeah, there's a couple of other places that I think that he can go as well. Are the Nuggets crazy? They fired the coach 3 games before the playoffs. Hey, listen, it is what it is. About to go buy low on Michael Porter. Michael Porter Jr. Well, keep in mind that they were looking to shop, and that's probably why Calvin Booth is out as GM, because keep in mind they were shopping Michael Porter Jr. They decided to hold on to him. I think sometimes GMs can hold attachment to players. That's why we got Lonzo Ball on contract, right? Like it is what it is there. NBA and NFL seem to be completely different worlds when it comes to front office coaching power. Coaches and GMs get fired, moved around like nothing. Yeah, that's true. That's true. How did you interpret the AKME 8-10 players instead of superstar comments? Would love to hear your insight. Well, what he said, though, is that he said that they're trying to get to – so it was two separate comments. He first said that they're trying to build something to championship-wise. Then he says he feels you can contend with 9 or 10 really good players. But he's also said that he know that people leave out in that he also did mention you got to have stars, you got to develop, right? So it's not that I think we can be one of the best teams in the league with just 9 or 2 players. No, you can compete with 9 or 10 good players, which you can do. Now, winning a title, you're going to need somebody to develop there, right? So it wasn't like we're just a championship team away because we got 9 or 10 players. It's not how it was presented. I mean, right now, reporting on the fact that you look like Booker T's left clone. Like that's what you look like the upside down version of Booker T. Like you're from the upside down, bro. Like you need to get your life together. Rather than asking dumbass questions in live streams, you need to go and oil your motherfucking scalp. That's the first thing you need to do. Maybe your brain cells can actually move freely around your brain if you actually oil that dry ass scalp that you got. Secondly, if you stop holding on to those 4 ass dreads that you got left over from you not taking care of your scalp, maybe then your brain cells can start working even more than that. You need to stop worrying as much about me and worry about how to get your brain started to go. That's what you need to start doing. Like stop being stupid. That's what you need to stop doing. All right, like bruh, like come on, man. You out here looking like an accident. Like chill the fuck out, bro. Like how you look like a mix between Beetlejuice and Booker T. That's a bad place to be in life, my boy. Bad place to be in life, my boy. It's bad, bro. On top of that, you got dreads coming out your nostril hairs, my boy. Go and comb something, bro. It's okay to take a bath. Showering is good for you. It can wash away some of the sins that are on the head of yours. Go and take a bath, right? That's what you need to do. Brain development, bath, get some milk. That's what you need to do, all right? Get it together, my boy. Get it together. Why would they do this right now before a playoff run? Bro, like that's the craziest thing about it all, bro. Like it doesn't make any sense to do it at that point in time. I like him on the Grizzlies. Spurs seem like a stretch, but they do have fluidity with Fox and Wemby fully healthy. There you go. There you go. Coby and Giddey and Boozy have all-star potential, which helps with team building. Yeah, I mean that like the way that Coby and Giddey have been playing right now, definitely. We got to stop putting the cart before the horse with Modest, though. Like, don't get me wrong, I think Modest is going to be absolutely great, but people are already saying, "Oh, all-star." Do you think like he's going to be a number one? Like, there's steps to this. Let's chill out a little bit on that, man. Let's let it get to the natural place that it's going to get. Hey, you so weak, you pick on people's looks. That's why you hiding. But see, listen, I ain't even got to pick on people's looks. It's bad enough that you already know that you ugly as hell. That's why you use that avatar as your Avi picture, bro. Get your life together. Talking about some so weak. Motherfuckers come in here, you get roasted, bro. This Chicago. Don't even worry about it. You weak because you sitting behind there trying to type and you a bitch. How about that? That's the fact that you weak. You weak because your mama decided not to breastfeed you because she has some saggy ass long titties that was down there by her ankles. How about that, bro? She don't even know who your daddy is. Worry about that. Like, listen, y'all can come in here and get roasted all day long. Like, we can do this. This is what we do here. Bulls fans should keep Billy Donovan. Like, Billy Donovan's going to be around for a little while, man. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think the Bulls should be Donovan. Keep Donovan? Yeah. I don't think you can disagree with people who make the point that this tells you the difference between teams that are truly it tells you the difference between a team that has a generational player that can afford to make this. Like you got to get to the point of being competitive. Like what are you doing? What are you doing? Damn chubby, worked up, looking like fat Lavelle. This, first of all, I'm not nearly as fat as Lavelle. Come on, bro. Like that's what you got up. It's chubby. That's what you got. While you sitting there, looking like your soul's dirty, bro. Like literally, the ancestors can't even see you because that's how much dirt you're surrounded by, my guy, right now. You know why I'm chubby? Because I got money to afford my next meal. You can barely afford a bath, bro. You got to go into Love's and pull change together and ask for people to help you with their gas money left over, so you can just take a bath, bro. That's what you got. Come on, man. You cannot try to cook with me. You can't fight the guy with the mic. You talk chubby jokes. I say I'm fat all the time. You know why? Because I'm successful. I can do that. You know why? Because I can pay for food. You know what you doing? You scrabbling for the last meal, my boy. You suck dick for Popeyes. Like that's what you did, bro. Like literally. Come on, bro. Like you over here sucking feet so you can get leftover Chinese food and a half an egg roll, bro. Come on, chill out, bro. Come on, man. You really don't want to smoke with me with these jokes, bro. I'm telling you, it'll never go your way, bro. You never go like the jokes that I got lined up. Is just come on, bro. Get your life together, my boy. Get your life together, my boy. It's all right, bro. Like you sucking toes through socks. That's what you need to worry about, my guy. Come on, man. Come on, bro. You really don't want that, bro. You really don't want this heat. I'm telling you. I feel you. Modest definitely got some potential, but it's mainly his drive and attitude that gives me so much faith. Oh, listen, I think that Modest is going to hit on every bit of the development that he has there. I think he's going to hit on every single bit of it because that's how good he is, bro. So, you know. Petty Roosevelt cooking this dude harder than his dreads, bro. Like, it just is what it is, man. I don't know why people, that's crazy. That's wild. Stall him out, Debo. I'm done. That's funny. That's all right. I love you guys, man. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. I love you guys so much. Make sure you guys are following us at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and or voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related, but that's thanks to you, lovely and beautiful people. And like I like to end every episode on, go Bulls. Love you guys. See red if you can, y'all. Peace.